Oh, I actually had a good series elevator. A lot of times I'll just keep going. If I mess up series elevator, I'll just go. So it's cool that I got a good series elevator. It's very important. It's a make or break moment there. Thanks for the good luck. So this run, you'll see a decent bit of sloppiness in this run, but of course it's pretty good. I mean this run is just so damn hard to get like a no death, no save run of, sort of like a clean run through at all, like anything resembling a clean run through. So. I'm gonna be dealing with cough drops while I commentate, so sorry if there's a noise because of it. 617, pretty good. And I had noticed recently that I had forgotten to add the icons for all my splits. That's what I was doing during this part of the run. I was adding some icons. It's also the reason I missed the first split. So I thought I'd lost my splits at some point, but it turns out that I'd just saved them in a place I didn't expect. So when the power went out and I went to load up live split and pull up the splits, they were like all blank, and I was like, what? But then I figured out they were in the icons folder, was where my run file was. So I hadn't quite finished. I don't know. That's why I didn't have all my icons. Got a good feeling about this run. All right, this is the moment you could predict world record and it'd be for a really good reason. Don't think it'll beat it. Alright. So that was clean. Yeah, I was thinking about using this actual layout for next stream. I do like it. It helps with the darker background though. So here I decided not to turn around and do the jump over the spike. I think I'm gonna keep doing that, where you just run into the spike instead of worrying about like trying to inch forward as a ball, then turn around and then do a backward spin jump. I feel like just doing the slightly slower pit room strat on the way back and gaining your energy back is faster when you could just like roll at that spike and not have to set up anything at all. I think that would be a better time save or use of your energy there. Thank you, Asder. So here, yeah, we're doing the older strat for the pit room where you just shoot up and then left first. Not going for the D boost. You get more energy drops that way. So you don't always get back to 99, but you usually get up to like 79 or 89 at least. So you can get another drop or two in climb room quite easily without really slowing down. If you go for the D boost, you won't get as many drops though, and you'll have to farm like 4 of the pirates and climb, which is slower. So that's something I changed on the fly for this run, was the energy management at the very beginning. I'd kind of been thinking about it during the stream. I was like, you know what I should do? I should just run into that spike. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I feel like in this run that can be improved. Still, for my run at least, I feel like Podorobi probably had a better handle on this. It's in some ways, like the health management and the sort of ammo and health management, especially the health management, Stuff like going down to Lower Norfair, like before that, I'm a little bit overly cautious with. Good BT. BT's pretty easy though if you know what to do here. Yeah, stuff like that I'm a little overly cautious with still. And just working on like Lower Norfair Escape could save a lot of time, not farming. Stuff like that. There's a route for it, yeah. Hodorubi's got a world record, and Azur's got a run, and Hodorubi's got a theory task, so yeah. I kept missing that third wall jump for some reason. Like in the runs yesterday. It's kind of funny. It's a weird one to miss. But that's the way it goes with speedrunning something, grinding something. Like you'll start missing stuff that you're not used to. Just little pieces will break here and there of your execution. You have to figure out what's going wrong or try to pull it back together. So here I just skip this drop. I'll shoot that waiver if I need to, but yeah, I had no need to there. I think this gauntlet was a little wonky, so I was late coming through here. I took damage. Very important that you want to spin jump out of there if you start taking acid damage, because you can't just jump straight out. So I was a cycle later than I want to be here because my energy's not as good, and I can't justify dipping into the lava anymore, because it should be I was thinking it would be a net loss at least to have to farm back that much energy. First another lava cycle, or you know, one extra lava cycle. Danila, thank you for the resub. Somebody was asking about the Keigo. Would it be better to jump over to the left? I think it was Tabla. Jump over to the left and shoot it from the left and then pick up the energy, but I don't see how that could be faster. Like just shooting the Keigo as soon as possible gets the whole process of farming the drops. Plus, if you shot it from the left and you didn't get enough big energies, you'd have to like cross back over to the right. Either way, you have to go left, right, left instead of left, left. Yeah. Yeah, the bugs do jump left too. Yeah. You'd have to go far enough left to not get hit by the bugs, then right to grab the drops, then left again. I'm pretty confident that just shooting the thing as quickly as possible is the way to go. So we're waiting on the bug to come around. We got to do a Keigo on the bug without getting knocked off the ground while in the middle of our moon dance here. So we want to wait for the bug to come through once, because it's pretty close already, so you'd have to Keigo it twice if you don't wait, which would be kind of silly. I took an unnecessary hit, which is kind of bad there, but this is the same route as Hodo's world record. Yeah, there's some strats I updated and changed, but the overall route is the same. You don't have to have a health drop. Hodorubi came up with or he showed me a strat to take only 2 damage boosts in the BTOM room down there. It's a little harder though, it's a little harder and slower, so you really do want the health drops to get up above 90 energy after this. So that's why we shot the little flying creatures twice. It's because we're wanting to farm them for... Missiles are actually helpful too. If you get missiles here as well, then you have to worry about your missile count less on the way to spore spawn, and you can just plow through. But the energy is the main thing we're looking for to make it a little easier to get the power bombs. You can't kill the crawly things, just the flying things. And shooting them twice before you go back to the left allows you to kill them quicker, easier, when you're coming out of there. Missed the full fall there, but it's okay. To be really careful to jump late enough here to get over the BTOMs. Yeah, Hodo will ball up at the end here, but I found that if you just duck and then unduck and go to the right, it'll time it right. It's still slightly faster. You have to be careful though. There's an invisible beaton by the door. You have to be careful if you damage boost too far to the right, like on the right side of the last ledge before the spikes are done. Yeah, you'll get grabbed. It's 200 per time they hit you. They'll continually hit you, but it's 200 per, yeah. I believe that's right. So if you have like four missiles here, you can just skip this drop. I'm looking for a missile drop there, but it was like a big energy. But we got some nice HP, so that's okay. Let's see, did I get a missile there? Okay, I got a missile there. So we have enough. What we want is we want 8 missiles here. So we'll have 3 to kill the key hunters on the way to spore spawn, because the door is locked if you don't kill the enemies in the pre-spore spawn room. And shooting them with a pea shooter is super slow, and they don't necessarily drop missiles every time, so absolutely want 8 missiles before that door, so you can kill these really quick. Otherwise this room is super slow. Yeah, no, like the early PBs. So in like RBO, Moondance is used to clip through to get power bombs, sequence break power bombs, and it changes the route a bit. Like in RBO, sequence breaking early power bombs allows you to not go up red tower. So wait the spores to get out of the way there. 4 shots is good. That means we need 6 more, and we can 2-round them still fairly easily. You can still 2-round spore spawn if you only get 3 shots, but it's very hard to get the 3 plus 4 here. It's way easier to get 3 plus 3. Yeah, so in RBO Moondance, you would have to go up red tower. Like the next optimal route would be go up red tower and then down and back into green Brinstar and stuff. It's faster just to Moondance and while you're there, even though it's kind of slow itself, but it's way faster than going all the way up red tower and all the way back. This hack is like completely different. What getting early power bombs does, it does a lot more for you. So the 2 biggest things is you can put off crate a little bit. So normally in the natural route for this, you would go pretty much straight to Kraid and get an E-tank, and then you get 2 more E-tanks at the high jump. Well, you have to go back to Spazer to kill the enemies before high jump room, because otherwise you can't kill them with P-shots. And that opens up high jump rooms to get 2 more E-tanks, and you can do the hell run with 3 E-tanks to Bubble Mountain to Croc. Okay, so here we get those early power bombs. Our first E-tank instead of Kraid can be X-ray room, which is very difficult, but it's faster because we can put off Kraid until we have more health, we have high jump, and most importantly, I guess we'll have some supers. So my mock ball there was just a little slow, kind of unfortunate. I have to be careful here. If you get hit once, you have to be really careful, because if you accidentally jump into the spikes, it's death. So it's so hard to get a run going that I'll take a hit off of the spikes at the cack attack and then jump. Yeah, it's not bad if you just wait to get hit by the spikes and just do a full jump or whatever. You don't have to worry about getting hit by the spikes with invulnerability. But it loses a lot of time to take that hit because you got to farm up extra health here. But back to the power bombs. Power bombs, yeah, it allows you to have a much faster Kraid, a delayed, much faster Kraid, and the biggest thing is that instead of going to Fan Tune, so you would be going to Fan Tune after supers normally to get your first power bomb. The first power bomb intended way is to go Fan Tune, and then go Forgotten Highway through Meridia suitless, and then the second power bombs I get in this route would be the first power bombs you get in a more natural route. But there's some very scary stuff here, of course, with doing X-ray early. So Hodoruby uses a power bomb here and does some like single bomb jumps to start this off, so this is way faster. But it's also riskier to do double bomb jumps with a extra bomb to kill the waver. But yeah, I figured that strat out at some point. It's a nice one. Not that doing the power bomb single bomb jumps into double bomb jumps is not super scary itself. Yeah. So you do one double bomb jump, and then on the second one, I think you lay an extra bomb at the bottom to hit the waiver as it comes up. If you time it right, then it'll hit the waiver every time. So I tried to take a D-boost there, but I messed it up, so we're just taking a little bit of extra time to get these health drops since our planned strat got messed up. That's the planned backup to get those extra. And the good thing about the planned backup is we can just take a D-boost in the room after this and not worry about trying to get through these this with one energy, which it's more fun to show off the one energy strat, but you do make up some of the time you lose an X-ray return by doing that D-boost for sure. But yeah, we save Fantoon until the very end of the run with this route, which is way quicker because you don't, I mean, not just the Fantoon fight will be quicker, but the fact that you don't have to, you have better, you know, you have space jump and all that stuff going to wreck ship. You don't have to go from wreck ship through Forgotten Highway through Meridia to get the first power bombs either. So that's the biggest time save in this route. So it's a more radical time save than RBO for sure, and a more radical route change. So it makes Kraid and Fantoon easier, but then you have to do Moondance with the Keigo, one tank B-Tom room, and X-ray room. So there's a trade-off in difficulty, for sure. The getting the E-tank at Crocomire is a little scary too, but you shouldn't really mess it up. If you really know what you're doing, careful about it. I mean, you're bound to mess up sometimes. You just can't avoid messing up every once in a while, but... IHS, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you, Long August, as well, for the resub. Would you? Yeah. It's intimidating at first to do the moon dance, but yeah, the Kraid and Fantoon fights are pretty rough too, so I don't know. I haven't really run the other route, so I can't speak much about the difference in difficulty with too much authority. Oh yeah, it's very scary. Yeah. What is the toughest room in this run? Yeah, this route's just, the only people who've done this route is Hodoruby and me. Hodoruby's the one that kind of pioneered it. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be too scared of, honestly, I'd be as scared of Kraid as I would be of Fantoon. I'm used to fighting Fantoon on low health, but at Kraid I'm used to sort of just like plowing through every time in vanilla. I'm getting better at the Kraid fight just from playing, you know, this route, but yeah, so if you have one tank at Kraid, in this, the fingernails do 50 damage, so 2 of those would kill you. And the belly spike does 200 damage, which would kill you 1 hit. Which is something you really need to avoid in this route too. Because you have more leeway to jump in the spikes for if there's like a drop down below that you need. And the fight's just faster with the 4 extra supers, so... You know, that's 12 extra missiles that you don't have to. Yeah, the belly spike does 200. Yeah, it's still... A lot of times it'll one-hit KO me still in this route. Because optimally, you're not going to slow down to farm extra energy, and you're going to be in the low 200s if you don't do any extra farming, probably. And you have a good run through, like, exiting Croc. What's up, Hole Bro? I love Metroid on NES. I know it's a little bit of a divisive game as far as, I guess, like, some people love it and some people hate it. But I love it so much. I love the sound design. It's maybe my favorite sound design in the game ever. It always just makes me smile. Like the sound effects in Metroid 1, and the music's so good. The music set the tone for the whole series, so if you like Metroid music, you should, in my opinion, you should have some respect for the Metroid 1 atmosphere. Lum, thank you for the $50. Holy crap. Thank you so much. And you're very welcome for the content. Really appreciate that, though. This was a 135 flat. Yeah, some vacay money. Vacay money is very nice. Yeah, we'll be going on a 5-day vacation, 4 or 5 day vacation soon. Not a huge one, but not a huge or too expensive one, but it should be fun. Been looking forward to it. With the pandemic and everything, we haven't done much fun together as much as I would, prefer. I think we should. So it'd be nice. This room is super scary. That bottom left bomb jump is very scary because you're instantly dead if you miss that. None of the other ones are too scary. The first one, if you miss the first one, you'll have to do a backup wall jump out of there. That's kind of scary. So it can kill you. Once you get up here, you shouldn't have any problems of dying. You just have to get up through here. So if you drop down any of these, you can just go right back to where you were, sort of. Yeah, this is the run from yesterday. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if this was like at the very beginning of the run, the very, very beginning, it wouldn't be that scary. But you've gotten past the B-Tom room, you've gotten past Moon Dance, you've gotten past X-Ray, the Hell Run, Crocky Tank Grab, and this feels like the last big hurdle before you get to like Meridia. Which I still die on Kraid sometimes, but so I still get nervous for the maze because it's like, oh, I've almost got a real a true run going here, and it would feel bad to die on the maze. But I've been pretty solid in the maze lately. I haven't died there hardly at all in a while. It still happens sometimes, but yeah, Willie, yeah. I don't know when. I need to so for like for a few weeks, like I got we get that vacation come in, and there's like a marathon run in sort of the beginning to middle of October that I need to prepare for, but I'll definitely be looking at pushing any percent some more and learning Hundo. Also, thank you for the 200 bits. So if you miss one of these wall jumps or one of these jumps, you can still double bomb jump out. It's no problem really, but it's kind of bad because you want your energy to be as high as possible for Kraid, just in case it goes a little south. You can take a couple of hits. I even decided to go high road here. If it's easier to go high road, but if you do low road in the Keigo on the Sova, then it's like a second faster. But so I took like a bunch of extra damage here, I believe. Yeah, so that's really bad. Yeah, there's Hundo routes, yeah. Yeah, that's not good. So this was probably my worst split of the run, and that was part of the reason it started getting bad. All this extra damage is one of the big reasons. This split was such a drag. The high jump door, like getting high jump itself, yes, is blocked by Crocomire. Hey, thank you, Kaku. Thanks a ton for the 5 gift subs, Kaku. Appreciate the grats. Also, thank you, Sharpie Lover, for the gift sub. Yeah, I think this Kraid was really bad. Kraid's one of those fights that you can, I don't know, like, depending on the way the drops roll in the middle of the fight and just how good you execute, you can lose a lot of time here that's not like super apparent or like super obvious. And this is going to lose me a bunch of time, so I'm like, okay, I was down a super. I wanted the extra super back. So I was like, after a second here, I was like, you know what? I just need to kill Mini Kraid again. It's going to be way faster than waiting for supers here, the way this is going. I can't remember what the drops of this enemy are, but getting the extra, like, getting 15 missiles is nice. And this is more supers than I usually have. So usually I'll just... I mean, ideally, I think you just want to go for the door. But I was down a super, so I had 3 supers here. So yeah, ideally you want like 200, low 200 energy, 4 supers here, and not have to farm at all. And I messed up Kraid quick kill too. So yeah, we wasted a super. Not good. 24%. It feels like 0% sometimes. You know how it goes though. So you gotta watch out for those belly spikes, those little surfboards. Little surfboards that come out, they will kill in one hit at this energy. Can't remember if I was able to get this super. Looks like it. I think I missed another super, didn't I? Sometimes it's hard to get Kraids, get all your missile hits. It's really important. I've got a visual cue in the background, like the pattern of the background, the little spheres or whatever in the background. I have a sort of visual cue for how high to shoot the, like what line in the background to shoot the missiles at. So you know, even if Kraid is off screen, I should have a good view of where to shoot the missiles. It's kind of hard to execute perfectly all the time though. So this is where it gets painful, is when you have problems getting missiles and you run out of missiles. It's also why it's so important to be accurate with your shots. If you have 15 missiles coming in and 4 supers coming in, you only need like 2 missile drops if you're perfect with your shots. So that left a lot of room to be desired in that fight, and before the fight too. So that's a big time save. It's still there. Hackliff, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you, Mr. Grove. Appreciate the 200 bits. Thank you for the grants too. So these enemies, they don't die to regular missiles in this. They do die to supers, but you want to kind of conserve. You don't want to shoot all your supers out at this point, I don't think. This is a good mock ball. That one's kind of tricky to get sometimes. It's kind of weird to have high jump for that that mock ball. Damn, Shads, thank you for the 50 bucks as well. Thanks for the happy vacation witches. That's really awesome. Thank you, Shads. That'll buy us a really nice meal or two while we're out on the road. So thank you again, Lum and Chads. So yeah, plus 1 minute. It's pretty bad. Plus that was so like compared to gold, I think that was like a minute 20 or something. Good mock ball on the spikes coming out though. Hey, you don't want PB and world record by too much, right? Don't want to kill it instantly. You want to have some fun with it. This is good. This yeah, I remember I got that. So if you miss that, it loses like 10 or 12, like probably like 12 seconds every time you miss it. It's really bad. So it's kind of risky to go for it. Hodarubi does a strat where he power bombs on a descent and then jumps back up. But it's like 6 or 7 seconds slower or something. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe it's like 8 or 9. I can't remember. So yeah, I just go for the less consistent red tower climb, but it's really slick when you get it. I feel like I get it more than half the time, so it's usually worth it. I think it's worth it, you know, with practice, that it can be consistent enough to where it's generally worth it on average. This leaves a power bomb to do this a little faster and easier as well, getting through that B-tom. The fact that you don't use a power bomb on red tower, but not a big deal. Hodorubi's got a really cool strat where you bomb spread there. It's not much slower. It's like half a second there, but the power bomb's comfy. What? Yeah, it is a nice community. It really is. I like the chat that has grown up around the channel. It's nice and chill. The people that have been around are nice and chill. Get a lot of new nice and chill people too. It's good stuff. He's doing like, what is it, all dungeons or something? Is that right now? Thanks again for the hype train, yo. So yeah, this segment was quite good, I think. So you can definitely lose a lot of time on this segment pretty easily between red tower and this flatly jump. So that's called a flatly jump. What you're doing is sort of like walking backwards off of a ledge, an edge of a platform. And when you like slide off backwards, you have a little bit of time while you're in your turnaround to do a sort of a, it's not really a wall jump, I don't think. I think it's just a jump. It still counts you as being on the ground as you're like turning around. So like you start turning around, and right before you face all the way right, you do a jump, and it lets you slide off the platform and get a little lower and up around that what's blocking you. It was definitely intended. I don't see what else would have been intended there from the creator. So if you don't know, the creator of this ROM hack is an old tasser for the game. I can't remember I don't know if I know every task they did, but they did a, for the vanilla game, they did a, for regular Super Metroid, they did a any % game time task. They did an RBO task. I don't know if they did any other ones. They may have done a low % ice one. But yeah, if you look at somewhat older tasks of Super Metroid, you'll find Saturn has done some tasks. That's who made this ROM hack. What's my goal with this category? I don't know. Maybe a 132 is possible. I'm not so sure though. It can definitely get to be a 133, but maybe a 132. I mean, my sum of best is 129, so it's a very tough run to have a clean run of because there's so many death points. But I think at least a 133 and maybe a 132 seems reasonable. I'm not really totally sure. So yeah, that damage on the ouch, what's the actual name of the enemy there? That was bad. So we're going towards Batuan, and there's no real farm spots. Not really much of any farm spots here. So you really don't want to be taking extra. I think I take a damage from the crab here, which is really bad. That's 120 damage. So this is taking damage on the way to Batuan has killed me before. Batuan, some of Batuan's patterns you can't really dodge. I mean, you can dodge some things like early on the fight and duck under some patterns if you kind of know what they are. There's a couple of patterns, like at least 3 patterns, maybe 4 that you, well, maybe just 2 from the left hole that are oh yeah, see another damage. from the left side hole, there's at least 2 patterns that are almost impossible to dodge. So if you get bad luck, he'll keep coming out of the left hole and hitting you. It's no good. I think I had pretty good luck for the most part, though. And I had some good dodges in the beginning of this fight that helped as well. I was a little nervous about the fight with this health. I mean, you want to have full health. Just straight up full health here. Right. Yeah. GKL, thank you for the Baker's Dozen. Glad you enjoyed seeing it last night. Ah, Stevie Wonder Saturn. We'll pretend that Saturn named themselves after Stevie Wonder Saturn. Yeah, this dodge is a little tough. I don't know how much the actual projectiles that Batuan spits does, but they're no joke either. I don't know if they're as much as a physical damage from Batuan. I don't think they're quite as much, but they're close. So I could have rolled under that one that last one I got hit. At some point when I feel like the fight is going to where I won't die, I'll just get aggressive with it. But it's probably better to actually duck under it and lose out an extra shot. Because the more damage you take, the more you'll have to farm here, which is kind of bad. Sometimes, I mean, there's times when you will be farming for your supers back anyway, and so like being there, oh god, that's so scary, falling down like that. So if you, one of my recent runs, I fell down, accidentally like a quick drop there through the sand, and I fell down to the transition below. That's a big time loss. You have to like work your way all around, snail climb back up, and then go through Batuan rooms again. It's really bad. It was last night. Was this run? But yeah, sometimes you'll be farming back your supers anyway, so you're gonna be there farming for ammo. So I guess the less health isn't always gonna hurt you. But I got 3 supers from Batuan, which is a above average drop, I would say. So pretty good drop. My energy's still pretty good already. So this is one of the best things about Hood Ruby's run. One of the best things, especially about this segment, is that he just does like one farm and goes. I don't know. I need to look and see what kind of drop he got. Yeah, I think that's one thing he was better. He's better at than, or that he knew better than I do now. Is Batuan patterns. I think I'm still like getting an eye for them a little bit, but I've gotten better for sure. Hey, thank you for the grats. Thanks, y'all. So 1 super left. I'll you know, you can leave like a super or a missile or 2 pack, like a couple missiles or a little bit of energy less than full. It kind of stinks if you get hit by one of those tongues. Those tongues do 100 damage when they lick you or whatever it is, the roly-polies. That's just not good, but you know, you can get some stuff back from one of these Metroids. There's the super back. Didn't it fall here or something? Like miss the wall jump. Yeah. Yeah, Dragon, yeah, you have to practice Dragon and get good at Dragon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt that. So the nice thing about this is, so like, Saturn could have made it to where there weren't these little platforms to jump on. I mean, that is something, they didn't have to add anything to this room, and it still would be doable. They actually made it a lot easier for that previous room than the vanilla game, even though you could do it in the vanilla game still. Yeah, without ice, sure. If you fell down, you would be dead. You'd be soft locked though, but it'd still be possible, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be scary as heck, but you can almost make an argument for taking that damage boost in the last bit of that, but I don't know. So my strategy has become to shoot him with as many missiles in the beginning as possible and try to stay full energy. Because at full energy, you're just going to get a bunch of missile drops on the goos. So I'm just bypassing the first charge shot on the first swoop, going straight to missiles and try to unload as many of those as possible. I feel like this is better damage. And if you have a good start like this, like I'm still at 24, I'm still 1 off from max missiles. Like you don't have to worry about the getting the missiles back if you don't take a hit for a little bit, because you'll be getting a lot of missile drops from the goos. Golden Rain is hard to aim. It would be very hard to aim and put in the middle of a Dragon fight. See, missiles are very good versus Dragon, even in the original game. Like supers are nice, like you get 300 damage, but like for low percent ice, for instance, like how fast you get supers and use the supers. I mean, how fast you like farm back and utilize your regular missiles is almost more important than any sort of like lucky super drops or anything like that. Because even in the original game, supers do regular damage, 300 damage. A lot of bosses will take 600 damage. Supers become more important for them. Like Ridley in the original game takes 600 damage from supers. So some categories, it's kind of often that categories, you know, if people want those supers really bad for Ridley, but yeah, Dragon always does, always takes 300 damage for supers, so it makes supers less important. Yeah, I was hoping I was gonna get a perfect no damage fight here, but it didn't quite happen. It's very close. Yeah, missiles are really key. I mean, the less you can take damage, the more you keep getting those regular missiles back. So like really taking less damage here is pretty big, because you just keep getting those regular missiles back really quickly. The spaghetti turrets. I think I got shot from the left there, yeah. Yeah. So a lot of times it feels like if the turrets shoot once, they often will shoot twice, like in a row, sort of. So if Dragon's gonna goo from left or from right to left, and I see the left turret start to shoot, I'm almost assuming it's gonna shoot again. So sometimes I'll try to wait that out or whatever. So yeah, getting grabbed is really bad here. It just wastes time. It's very dangerous as far as taking damage, and it wastes time. Well, it's a pretty good fight. It was almost an exceptional fight, but it's still quite good. Went back for the supers. I don't know if that was worth it, but yeah, if you don't notice to hang to the left side, then the turrets are really they really make it miserable, because then you get the 3 turrets shooting at you instead of 1. Like you still get the ones on the right shooting at you when you try to. So like here I let go of grapple too late. I didn't have as much of a trajectory to the right. Was the problem there? I had started messing up that grapple jump from the left, and I troubleshooted it before the runs yesterday, which was this day that you're seeing. But sometimes it's hard to internalize things that you fix or learn immediately. It's like you got to sleep on it. You know how it's how your muscle memory or whatever works sometimes. It's like that was a really good grapple there. That one onto the bottom block, that was really sick. What was I saying about Dragon? I can't remember. It's a cool run. Oh, the turrets. I think I was talking about the turrets. Yeah, the turrets. Yeah, when you're fighting Dragon, when you like move to the middle of the room for the goo patterns, it gets, you know, dangerous because all three of the turrets can start shooting at you. So I missed the hole there. So I swung to the right before I went down into that pit because the door transition is way better. You don't see an actual door or the transition, but it's still there. And if you jump all the way to the left, it has to like recenter. It doesn't show it, but it'll. There's like you lose like almost a full second for it recentering. So I try to get up to the right as possible, and then swing to the left and get into that secret tunnel. But I wasn't quite quick enough, or I went too far to the right or something. Distinct Killa, thank you for the Prime sub. But yeah, I mean, when I did my casual playthrough of this, I did not know about staying to the left for the Dragon turrets. And it was miserable, like trying to not get hit by the turrets when all three of them are trying to shoot at you at the same time. All the time. So here, when you're wall jumping, what you do to get on the ledge is you like, for this case, when you're trying to get up to that first ledge, when you're getting close to the top, you wall jump to the left and then immediately like press right. You don't want to like hold right where you're moving right, but in the water you'll sort of drift still to the left. For some reason, it compresses your hitbox a little bit. You don't see it, but even though you're still spin jumping, after you wall jump, for some reason it compresses your hitbox a little bit. It lets you like swing up onto that ledge easier. So we wanted to quick drop. I think I reset up the quick drop into that room, right? So it's important you quick drop into that room, because then you can avoid the damage from those first mini Dragon like projectiles. They do like 100 damage, and if you take 100 damage there, then you're gonna have to refarm that energy here. So you want to like quick drop and then ball up to go get under those projectiles. Yeah, the EVers. You definitely want 10 supers here too. Like, you can get it later. Chances are you would get the super later anyway, but... So we're headed towards Speed Booster, and we're going to need a Crystal Flash. So we're going to need 10 supers. Chances are you would come across a super on the way there anyway, but... Yeah. No, I'll have to put them together in a video editor. It'll be both the original run and then this appended to the end of it. It'll be a little while before it gets up, maybe like a couple weeks. Probably a couple weeks before it's up. I've got a backlog of PBs to get through. But hey, you're here live for the commentary run. So, I was laying that power bomb after getting up here, sort of, but I figured out recently that I should lay it earlier. Although I messed up the wall jump, so it wasn't too clean a room either way. But yeah, the earlier you lay that power bomb, it's kind of faster and a little faster. And of course, we don't want to take too much damage here. Luckily, this is not that difficult of a part if you're sort of what's the word? Slow and steady with it. I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but if you're just slow and steady and know what you're doing, you shouldn't take any extra damage here. Deliberate about it. Yeah. So, yeah, there's enough. I usually end up with too much energy here, actually. No, not necessarily. The camera doesn't really matter. I'm used to it. I'm used to it from being a streamer for so long. So I actually have too much energy here. I could probably just I should have just taken a damage boost here, honestly. I need to come up with like the sort of energy ranges for taking damage. So I don't have to wait here. So you kill the violas, which drop power bombs 99% of the time, and then you lay a power bomb while the drops are still there, and then grapple up to get the power bombs full to 10 again, and then drop down into a ball, same position as long as you don't move left or right at all. Just ball back up and do your crystal flash. It's pretty easy. Looks kind of fancy. So I reloaded this room because I lost my speed. I bonked the door, and you really want to have full, speed here for this bounce ball. You want to get over here before this gate comes back down. Super important. Can't be taking any extra damage here, or not much at least. Even if you do take a hit here, like you can live by taking a hit, but it's going to slow you down a lot. It just so happens that I got slowed down a lot anyway. So what happens here is I got messed up here, and I went to refill my energy, but I was just barely too short. So you want to leave more than 120 energy there to do the strat to get into plasma with 2 energy tanks. There's like a trick to get into plasma without spring ball. And you need more than 120 health for it because the crab does 120 damage. So yeah. Because of that, because I went down to 120 or below in my reserves, I have to sit here and fill up my reserves back above 120. So if it wasn't for that, we could go right now. We could have gone like a couple farms ago. You don't need full energy. Get right to the speed booster and left back here. It was kind of like a 20 second time save, or time loss, having to do all these extra farms. Probably more like 20, 25. I don't know. It's kind of bad. That's why it's important to have a clean segment after the crystal flash on the way to speed. If it's like perfectly clean, then you don't even have to use a reserve at all if it's perfectly clean. That saves you a pause. Not only does it save you the refilling the reserve, it saves you a pause completely. It can. So you really need a good visual cue for when to start that speedball, because the fact that you're in a heat room, it will hit you out of speed booster, like the blue echoes, if you're not careful. So you have to you need to jump very soon after you get those blue echoes started, or you'll just lose your speed and you won't get through that room and you will die. So it's kind of scary. It's not really hard. It's very consistent, but it's still scary because, dying this late in the run is painful. Because at this point in the run, the biggest things that can kill you if you're playing well, if you're playing reasonably well, not making any huge mistakes, the dangerous things are like Ridley and Mother Brain at this point. So speed is kind of like, it's kind of one of those last holdouts of places where you can just die. I mean, there's other places you can die. I died going to plasma. This is really good. So I just came up with this method. It's not that it's like something that's groundbreaking or anything, but I really love that gravity jump. So that's a gravity jump. It's a pauseless gravity jump, but since you're transitioning from a dry room to a wet room, you jump like right before you enter the wet room, and you keep that sort of velocity, but you enter the wet physics, and you sort of take off. So yeah, we damage down on purpose here, so we can trigger the reserves right before plasma. So here, I died here, one of the last runs I did. I just like tapped grapple, and if you just tap grapple, sometimes it won't go all the way. And it just like didn't hit the crab, and I fell into the crab and died. It just felt really dumb. So it's just one of those things you have to like, you have to make all these mistakes before you know, you're gonna die on a lot of different things before you figure out like where things can go wrong, where everything can go wrong. So there, like when you're falling down towards that crab, it's like just hold the shoot button when you press grapple until you're sure it's like, make sure you hold that shoot button long enough. So the actual hard part of that, what happens there is yes. Also Lee, what's up? Thank you for the resub. So the way we got into that little hole is we had those reserves saved up, right? So we paused when we took that first hit, so it didn't kill us. It took us down to 0 damage, or 0 health, but it didn't kill us because you can't die when you're pausing. If we didn't do any reserves and we just unpaused, we would be dead. We would die. But so we were in ball form, so it knocked us up, but we paused, and she's still up in the air a little bit, and then we turned on reserves to automatic. So when you unpause, it automatically kicks the reserves off, and when your reserves are getting kicked back in to your health, you'll lose your invulnerability frames. Like they'll still start running out. So if your reserve's big enough, which it's big enough for 120, it will, you know, it will cancel your invulnerability frames, and then you'll take another hit without falling because it freezes where you're at when you're refilling your reserves. And then you basically take a little double sort of damage boost in ball form underwater to get up there. But that's the easy part. Like there's nothing hard about that at all to execute if you just know what's going on. The hard part is getting out of there. Like there's this weird little slope. You can't just jump and then ball out of there. There's some weird slope there. That's I don't know how they did that, but you have to do a little bit of a bomb jump. Like you lay a bomb and then you have to do a quick jump back up and then into morph ball and press right, sort of like propel yourself with that bomb to the right to get over that little slope. It seems kind of clever the way they programmed that slope in there, but yeah, it's actually way harder to get out of there, especially if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not familiar with the bomb jump. It took me a while to figure it out. A little while. I mean, not that long, but SMI or the game, just Super Metroid in general. Dado, thank you for the resub. Moondance went clean in this run. So Power Bombs was clean. I got a 2-round Spore Spawn, which is clean. I had to do a little extra farming on the way to X-Ray. The Ball Maze was fairly clean. It could have been better. Kraid, I lost like a minute around the Kraid before and during Kraid. And then after that, it's pretty clean after that. The Kraid segment and Spazer segment was definitely the worst part. There's other places I can save significant amounts of time, but that was a really big time loss. It was like a minute and 20 from gold in one segment. But yeah, it's gotten a lot better. Meridia was reasonably good. It could have been better. You know, things can be better. It's hard to. This is like RBO on steroids. As far as like RBO is very volatile and hard to optimize a run for completely. This is like that on steroids. Like there's so many places you can die. There's like these long boss fights. They're sort of like low percent where you can lose a bunch of time pretty easily, compared to like doing them the fastest possible. So it's like it's super volatile. So that waterway E-Tank is skippable. No, I'm not done. No, not at all. I want to do 100%. I want to push this down further as well, any percent. Yeah, I have a ton of respect for Hoda, so it's really cool to trade records with him. He was my biggest influence when I started running Super Metroid. Yeah. If I have like a speedrun hero, it would be probably him. So yeah, that waterway E-tank is skippable. It would make Ridley a lot scarier. But I think that's an option on the table as well, to just skip waterway E-tank. You would still need the power bomb, like you still need to go over the power bomb, or the Mission Impossible power bomb, but then you just leave straight from there. It would save like at least a minute, I believe. But it would make some other things scary. But I think that's the way to go ultimately, is to skip a waterway. But there's a lot of reason. You know, there's definitely some good logic behind getting it, just to make, you know, Lord Nightmare a little safer and Mother Brain a little safer. Since you've gotten this far in the run, it hurts to lose a good run this late, because you've gotten through so many hurdles. You've cleared so many hurdles at this point in the run. So here you want to shoot your beam at a certain rate to where the B-Tom is taking damage, like as constantly as possible, and it means you won't get hit. So we're headed towards Low Norfair here, and there's not, like, any farming we need to do is going to be a time loss. So not taking those 200 damage hits from the B-Toms are pretty big here. I need to investigate ways, like the fastest way to ensure that my energy is, you know, my reserves are refilled enough before Lower Norfair, because I'm kind of like overly cautious here. I'm pretty sure I could have just gone with the farming I did before Space Jump. I either need to like do the farming before Space Jump and skip this next farm, or skip the farms before Space Jump and then do the farm here. Kind of doing both is, I feel like, a waste. Although I didn't stay here long. I don't know. No, 100% Super Metroid Impossible, not 100% vanilla. That's where I'm at. I'd like to do that too. But 80%'s got a lot of life left in it, I think. Or a decent bit of life left in it. I changed the way I do Lava Dive. I was doing the way I do in regular RBO, like vanilla RBO, which is riskier. It's fast. It's a little faster and it takes less damage doing those 2 wall jumps, but just waiting there for a second is so much easier and less, you know, not as scary. And we've got plenty of energy here. We got 2 reserve tanks full. We had an extra E-tank still there, so there's no reason to do that double wall jump off the bottom 2 faces on the left. And see, here I need to just take a hit on the spike, but I'm always too afraid to do that for some reason during my runs. So like when both reserves kick, I'm sort of just waiting to do the Crystal Flash. I should just take a hit on the spike there to speed things up. But for some reason I'm just afraid to do it during a run. I think the appeal of SMI is that it's sort of like French vanilla. Like it's, you know, it's got the difficulty. People like seeing the, you know, high level people take on these very, you know, supercharged difficult versions of the original game. And it still has the familiarity of the original game. I think those sort of things lend popularity to this this run. I mean, I'm enjoying my time playing it, so it works out. It's a win-win. I don't know. Keigo has never appealed to me quite as much. I don't like the way it looks as much. I don't know. I might play it at some point. I'm not really sure, though. I may change my mind. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to play this, to be honest, and I changed my mind, decided I wanted to play it. So I sort of played this because when I was, you know, I started playing RBO, and then this seemed like a logical step from RBO, you know, because I was already practiced on like Lower Norfair. It really doesn't have as much crossover as maybe I expected, but you know, Getting good at Moondance made this a lot easier to learn, for instance, and having Lower Norfair. I already had Lower Norfair pretty solid, suitless. I mean, that wasn't a big deal, but maybe Moondance was the biggest thing that was like, okay, I think I can take on SMI too here. Like having some previous practice of Moondance made it, doing the harder Moondance with the bug in the way, a little bit more tolerable, I think, for doing this route. Yeah, what's up, Blast? Thank you for the... Thanks so much for the bits. So I really like when I get that speed booster, clear the blocks out, otherwise you have to just bomb them out. I don't know what I'm going to do with RBO, to be honest. I'm really enjoying playing SMI right now. So I could be on SMI for a while. I may not go back to RBO. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to go back to RBO for the race that I'm doing soon, but it'll just be like race route RBO. I'm not entirely sure if I'll grind the other way. I sort of intend to grind the record, or the time down in RBO more, at least my time. I don't know what Zenny's going to do, but yeah, whatever seems like it's going to be enjoyable for me at the time. Like, it's hard to really completely predict like what I'm going to feel like doing. Of course, I want everybody else to enjoy it too, but I think a lot of options, like playing SMI, obviously people enjoy that a lot, and RBO people enjoy, so I don't think I can quite go wrong with anything. It's just whatever I feel like doing between some of these things at the time. I don't really plan it, like that meticulously and say, well, I'm going to do this and you can hold me to it. It's just like, well, I plan on doing this, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, SMI 100 would be cool. A denial. What's up, Matrix? Yeah, I'm happy to get the 56 milestone at the very least. That was a good milestone for sure. And I was really happy to get like the 4 biggest Super Metroid world records at one, holding them all at once for at least a brief. Like, it was only a week, but still, like, doing that is so hard. Like, any one of those world records is really hard to get on its own. Having all 4 at once is like, it's ridiculous to try to do. Yeah, I mean, just for any amount of time, it's like, it's a huge win. Oh, thanks. Transferable is like, they're not like that transferable between each other. Like RBO's definitely got its own stuff. Like, all of them have their own difficulties and like unique strats and stuff. Like, of course, like wall jumping and your general movement is transferable to some extent. Like, of course, like the gameplay and the control of the character is transferable, but there's a lot of unique stuff to all of those runs. I do love 100%. It's just sort of like the reality of grinding it for world record is sort of depressing. I don't know. I mean, I love the run, and it's fun for a while, but once you like get like half a year into a world record grinding, it's just like, oh my god. Let it stop. Let me out of speed gel, please. So if you come out of spin jump there with just pressing left and then tap left again, you get on the very right corner of that. I think it's kind of cool to be hanging off the edge with the crystal flash there. Hey, thank you, Framed. So here, what when I first started picking this up, I was trying to like do all charge shots. It's 40 charge shots. Really has the same energy as vanilla. But yeah, it's it would be 40 charge shots. I was like, I'll save the supers for Ridley, that's what I was thinking at first. But the thing is, like, the more you have to farm like, you want to have as least farming coming out of here as possible, right? Once you get out of low Norfair, you just use the refill, energy refill, because you need a lot of energy to get to Wave Beam. So, yeah, I think it's best to just kill Ridley as quickly as possible and save as much energy as possible, so you have to do as little energy farming to get out of low Norfair safely. Because the more you're stuck there farming energy to get out of there, it's just like a big time waste, or big time loss. That's sort of why I triggered my reserves there as well. It's just to save the extra energy. Because when your reserves trigger in your hot room, it'll keep ticking your energy down as they're refilling from the auto. So if you pause and refill, it'll save some energy. What I probably should have done is leave like 101 energy in my reserves. That would have spent less time unloading my reserves. And plus it would have given me like a double hit from the key hunters. I think that would have been the more optimal thing to do there. I just didn't think of it until after I'd done it. I thought about it pretty immediately after I did that. I was like, you know, I should have just unloaded 99 of my reserves instead of all of them, waiting for all of it. Would have been totally fine to do that. And it would save a little bit of time, but I didn't immediately think of it. So 455 is pretty safe. You could play this a little... You could play this riskier for sure, coming out of here. I mean, technically you come out of here with like less than 100 energy if you just played perfectly and didn't get unlucky or anything like that. But, so this is like Hoda's plasma strat here. It's really cool. For some reason I let go of the charge there. I don't... Luckily I got the... I did kind of pull it together and get the speedball. If you do that, if you sort of set that speedball up perfectly, it's... I think you can get away without getting hit if you do it right. It's sort of why I do that little bitty tiny ledge grab up to the top, so I get enough speed off of like the top statue to sort of get far enough right. Otherwise, if the top hopper does like a small jump and then a big jump, it can kind of be scary. It'll kind of hit you, but yeah, I didn't need all that energy, but again, it's like so late in the run. Like, it just feels like so bad to die at this point, so yeah. And for some reason I was like, wait, I don't have gravity suit, I can't get through there quickly. I was like, I'll just plow my way through that, and it's like, oh, I'm going like, I'm barely moving here. That's not good. But yeah, I would say you'd want at least 200 energy coming out of here. I think like maybe 250 energy farming up to is probably a good idea. 450 is just a little safer. I don't know, it just... Like I said, you get so far at this point that it would feel really terrible to die leaving Lower Norfair just because like you were too stingy to wait for a couple more drops. But it all counts, you know. It's all time that could have been, or it could have been quicker. So this is where we're going to the energy refill. I've also thought about the possibility of, so another possibility could be to just use charge shots on Ridley, save your supers, and then Crystal Flash and then leave. That actually could be even more optimal. I'm not really sure, but I think that's a viable idea as well. The thing is, like, having the extra supers is nice here. So draining all the way to 0 supers after Ridley and Crystal Flashing might be bad for Turian. Like, you might be short on supers. So you might have a problem there with your ammo management. It kind of messed up. This wave beam room looks a little scary. It's not too bad though. If you just like, you can hold left and then you have to like wait a second and then you can take that hit to bounce over again. It's not too bad. And yeah, I love how that they put that in the cosine room, the wavy the wavy corridor. Put wave in the wavy corridor. Cosign room is what we just nicknamed it in the speedrunning community. But yeah. It's not too bad. It was when I did my casual playthrough, I was like, oh god, what is this? Like I took way more damage, but I need to work on that jump into that hole with a speed booster. It's a lot easier to jump into that corridor cleanly without speed booster. You get so much like right to left momentum coming into the room that it's kind of awkward. I think Hodori gets closer to the door and slows down and then runs again and jumps through the doorway, which makes sense. Sometimes I'm hard-headed and want to try to do it the fastest way, though. So at this point, it's just like a fetch quest. You know, I almost think you could have just like, I don't know. You could have just leave gravity out of it, or I don't know. I like how gravity's like on the way. This sort of like fetch quest down to wave beam and then up to plasma room and then down to Mama Turtle room is kind of goofy. It almost seems like the run would be, at least the speed run would be cleaner looking as a design of the hack if it didn't have as much sort of bouncing around just to get the items. Because there's nothing like hard here. But it kind of feels good to have a portion of the run where it's more just movement, sort of like a vanilla speedrun almost, where you're just trying to move quickly. The thing is, like, these last segments that are more like the vanilla run, where you're just like sort of trying to have fast movement, they didn't really. It was kind of sloppy in this run. I wasn't really happy with them, to be honest. I even messed up this plasma room, which is not hard at all. I think I was a little flustered at my movement at this point. Miner, we are on the way to success. Thank you, Miner. Thank you for always reminding me of the the good shiz memes. It always gives me a good, always makes me smile. I love the memes from the X Mark scam artist saga. It's so good. Also, Fongball is in the 96 months. We're getting so close to 100 months on this channel. Thanks for sticking around, Fongballs. No, I haven't always been the most consistent streamer, so thank you. No. It's just the only reason I put grapple on when I picked up ice is the sort of freeze frame swag of the grapple beam extension. That's all it is. I like the freeze frames on the grapple. Just waiting for Phantasy Star to come back. Oh my goodness. Need to do the Final Fantasy 3 playthrough. The most hated Final Fantasy. What do you think of Final Fantasy 3, Fongballs? Are you a fan? Or one thing I hate about, like, I was okay with it growing up. Like, I played Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy Star 3 growing up. But the thing that really killed it for me more than anything, I think, was the music for the fight themes. Like, I liked a lot of them. I liked the town theme. It was beautiful. Like, the shop themes were really good, and some of the other themes. But some of the fight music, for some reason, that just bugged me. I never liked it. I need to play 4 is what I really need to do. I've never played 4. Phantasy Star 3. I didn't mean to say Final Fantasy. We're talking about Phantasy Star, not Final Fantasy. It's objectively the worst. Final Fantasy Star. Yeah, I didn't mean to say Final Fantasy. Wing Buffet, thank you for the resub. Pineal Fantasy. You were about to unfollow. No, Final Fantasy 3 US is amazing. That's probably my favorite Final Fantasy. I don't know. I kind of grew up with that Final Fantasy. I grew up with the first one as well. But the first one is just, it's a bit grindy. The old JRPGs are just, oh god, they're so grindy sometimes. Like the NES JRPGs, oh, oof. Like I liked them back in the day, but oh my god. It's hard to play through them for me anymore. It's just the grind is so slow. No, I'm talking about Final Fantasy 3 USA, aka 6 in Japan. But it's just called Final Fantasy 3 in the US. It was. Yeah, Mystic Quest has some amazing music. It really does. The battle themes from Mystic Quest are some of the best. Those are killer. All right, the fan tune was interesting. So it started out slow, but then the follow-ups were crazy. So you need 4 missiles and then 4 charge shots for this fight. So if you get 4 missiles on the first round, you just start charge shotting. You have to wait a little bit after the eye opens, else it'll just go through Fantoon if you immediately shoot the charge shot. So that's why I kind of wait a little bit. But yeah, that was like slow, fast. It was like 5 fast or 4 fast because the invisible pattern fast. It's kind of crazy. I still lost time on the split because I believe the run before it was like a mid fast. So, something stupid. But I mean, there's so much time to save elsewhere in this run that I'm not really worried about the Fantoon patterns yet. Kind of messed up that shot. It felt bad. I missed the mock ball here coming up. The swag mock ball, but it's not too bad. It's still pretty good movement here at this point. I think like 133, 132. I'm not really sure yet which one of those, but I'm thinking somewhere in that range, 132, 133. I'll have to like see as time goes on what feels like a good stopping point, I guess. Fantoon only takes 300 damage for supers. So yeah, you can't really I mean, if you could do like the perfect Dopplers where you're doing like 20 missile Dopplers, and yeah, it could be faster. Maybe. You have less of a space to like work with on the ground. But yeah, the fact that supers do 300 damage kind of hurts the ability to go from 4 round to 3 round in this. Definitely makes it way more difficult. But yeah, Fantoon does not take double damage from supers in this like he does in vanilla. Just get X-ray and microwave them, yeah. There you go. I wonder what I think you may need spring ball to get X-ray. I'm not really sure though. I guess you could just bomb jump up. I mean, X-ray's on the way. It's not a terrible idea. X-ray is on the Lone Warfare Escape. So I think the Metroids went well. I really like this room 2 strat. It's very clean. Pretty easy too. I like this room 3 strat too. So you have to make sure you jump into spin jump early enough before you get grabbed. Room 4 is the trickiest one. This room, I kind of didn't unball fast enough on the bottom, and I kind of got stuck in ball. I need to work on that room more. So that was bad. That was bad for 2 reasons, because it was slow to get the thing off of me, and it makes taking that much damage made it to where you have to go to the refill, health refill after the baby. So it's a pretty significant thing there. All in all, that's probably a 15-second time loss if you're able to skip the baby and skip the refill. Yeah, it's a pretty significant thing. It's a good baby skip though. I wasn't completely sure on that last jump, so I did an extra jump. I did the hard baby skip, the fast baby skip. But then I did an extra jump, so. But it's still very fast. So that was as fast as doing a super clean normal skip. Stop bombing the baby. Dragon Quest 3. I played Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 as a kid. I never played 3 or 4. 4 seems really good. I mean, they all seem alright. Not a terrible Zeb skip. Zeb skip always goes bad in these runs for some reason. So honestly, that was better than most of my runs for Zeb skip. I hate down back Zeb skip so much. It's hard to put too much time into Turian in this run because there's so many things that can kill you earlier in the, like before that in the run, that it's easy to neglect Turian. I mean, it's just like a big run, you know. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I haven't spent as much time as I should have grinding Turian. It's just all those little things like that that I just haven't felt like I've cleaned up. Not even the fact that I think I can, like, you know, get a cleaner run, just the fact that I think I can clean it up in a sort of more mental sense of knowing what to do better and being more practiced. Not just executing it better. What's this grip I'm doing? So you don't need to move much with the D-pad. The thing is, it's awkward for me for the right side of the controller. It's awkward for me to hold shoot and R and then jump with one hand, or even like this. Like I'd have to do it like that to hold this and these two. So jump is A and shoot is Y. So if I'm trying to like thumb it, then I'd have to rock across the whole controller, and I might hit item select or something. I guess it's not a huge deal if I did, but I don't. It feels uncomfortable to try to, and maybe scary to try to use that base of my thumb across the whole controller to jump. So my solution is just to use my left hand, use my left thumb, pull it over to jump. It just feels more solid. And Mother Brains is pretty predictable enough. Like you can, if you know her well enough, like there's not really that many surprises. So I have time to like take my left hand off of the jump button and move forward and then go back to jump or whatever. Like it's not really scary to do that. But it's sort of just like a workaround because of my button setup. But that's the thing with like every button setup. There's going to be something in the run, or something in a run in Super Metroid, that's going to cause you to have a different grip, or you know, something like that. I feel like that's somewhat integral to running this game at a high level, at the highest levels, especially if you do multiple categories. Is the ability to be what's the word? I can't think of the word. Adaptable with your grips or something. Flexible. Yeah, flexible with the way you hold your hands. Yeah. Because one way of holding controllers isn't going to cut it for everything. And that's the beauty of this game, though, that is the fact that they make good use of all 8 buttons plus the D-pad, you know? That's kind of the beauty of the thing, is that it works really well once you get used to it. Like, it's capable of being controlled really well. It's not easy because there's a lot of different controls to deal with, but that's part of the fun of it to me, is that it is so it's got that depth, you know. If you crystal flash during a rainbow beam, I don't really remember what happens to crystal flash before she rainbow beams. I don't think you can do it. I don't know if she actually will rainbow beam you in crystal flash. Maybe she would. I don't know. It's not something that I've ever had to do that I can remember, so I don't really remember. I know if she does it, I mean, if she did hit you out of crystal flash, it would probably give you blue suit. I don't know if it's possible though. I know, like, if you can save a spike suit to here and do stand up, but I don't know. I can't remember. So yeah, Mother Brain 2 is very scary. It looked not too bad. It was long, but the thing is, like, the bombs do 600 damage. Like, bomb explosions do 600 damage. Each one of those onion rings does 200 damage. If you somehow run into her, so it does 1200 damage. In phase 2, the French fries, they will do 600 damage. So everything does a ton of damage here. So this fight is actually really scary because she can just, like, eke out little onion rings in between the getting hit. Sometimes she'll, like, throw a bomb out before you can sort of... Once it gets into the... Once it gets that little out of hand, it's harder to keep her from doing more, like, doing more attacks. So it's actually a really scary fight in this, just because everything does so much damage. She takes so many hits. It's actually really scary, Mother Brain 3. Yeah, you can bomb the bombs. That's what Hodoribi does in Mother Brain 2, is he bombs the bombs. But it does, like, eat into your time to do that. So it is definitely way faster to just charge shot straight up. Just keep charging, charge shotting. Every time you morph and lay a bomb, it's like a 1 or 2 second time loss. And if you bomb every bomb that she lays out, that's a lot of 1 to 1.5 second time losses, you know. You're gonna be losing like 15-20 seconds by doing that. So I've tried to, like, stick with not doing that personally. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do it, being this late in the run. I'm not saying it's not smart, but it's not an optimal thing. No, I'm talking about Mother Brain 2, though. Like, Mother Brain 3, yeah, you don't want to mess with bombs. Mother Brain 2, though, is what we're talking about. What I'm talking about. Because that's the biggest danger of Mother Brain 2. Is she lays a bomb and then she immediately onion rings. Then you have to jump over that and land on the middle of the bomb. Unless you do something fancy like a couple of morph unmorphs, but that's risky too because you can run into another set of onion rings. Yeah. The safe thing is to bomb the bombs when she bombs Mother Brain 2. Yeah, it was a good escape. A little bit of a sloppiness saving the animals, but not bad at all. It made me a little scared. It was a little sloppy saving the animals, so I was a little scared. I had to be really careful not to mess my wall jump up to the, you know, to the top of the room again, parlor. Yep. Yeah. I really wanted to have a world record in this where I saved the animals. If you were forced to save the animals in it, it'd be so scary to do the escape, because like having the flexibility to just say, you know, I made a mistake, I just won't save them, it makes the escape not scary at all. But if you're forced to go down there for some reason, like the margin of error is so small, it would be super scary. You couldn't make like a huge, like you couldn't make one big, like even if you just mess Moonfall, then that's about all the margin of error you have. Builder Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Really happy typing. Yeah, I was happy with this run. I mean, just because it can get better doesn't mean I wasn't very happy to get this. Because I had those 2 runs with no deaths pretty close to each other like a week ago. And then I've had like 5 or 6 days where I just kept dying in the middle of the run. Which there's no shame in that or no huge surprise or anything, but it's just the fact that I had 2 runs that were so close to world record, and then I had like a week where I couldn't get a run past the finish line. So I was very happy to get this one through. I knew it was coming soon, but yeah, still very happy. Very happy I saved the animals too. Like that was the icing, you know, the cherry on top. Pravdovich, thank you for the sub. Also, thank you, Fran, for the 500 bits, and thank you, Shaz, for the 200 bits. And thank you all so much. Yeah, the chat was actually really hype at the end. It was cool. That's kind of one of the most joyful things to see as a speedrunner. It's when you get that big, when you get that achievement, that people are really into, and everybody's just like, ah. It's really joyful to watch. Asian, thank you for the 500 bits. Thank you, Fridge Twin, for the 10 gift subs. Thank you a bunch. Yeah, they are. They're going crazy. It's good stuff. Well, you can always watch the VOD of this. I'll upload the original run and this to YouTube eventually, but it'll probably be a couple weeks. I gotta upload the rest of my PBs, and been trying to make like thumbnails for all my videos, be like slightly more professional with my YouTube channel. But I like to do things myself, so any sort of video editing or photo editing for a thumbnail is all DIY from me. But I have fun doing it too, though. Just takes time. RJ Van, thank you for the 200 bits. Thank you, Llama Slayer, for the 1 bit. Put Scrooge in the thumbnail. Heck yeah. Yeah, the strawberry drop was epic. It's true. It's good stuff. Oh, thank you all again. At GDQ, I don't know. I don't know about GDQ doing this. I mean, yeah, it'd be something I could consider maybe.
you